Good afternoon, everyone. In today's video, we're looking at a massive storm bringing yet more tornadoes to the US, as well as some snow and ice. We're going to start off today's video by looking at the latest Storm Prediction Center Day 1 convective outlook. This is today's outlook for severe storms, and we usually look at this before a severe event happens. We have a slight risk for severe storms across portions of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and Missouri, and that's also hitting portions, a very tiny portion of Illinois. That's the most risk for severe storms throughout the day. So we also have a marginal risk in the dark green color. That's also a small risk of severe storms. You're all going to see more severe storms, however, in that slight risk. Let's look at that tornado risk for y'all. We have a 5% risk for tornadoes, which is a very decent chance for tornadoes. We usually do see this kind of average tornado risk throughout the months of storm season. These events usually get hyped up once you go over that 5% chance and you reach around 10%. Those types of events usually get hyped up, and they usually either verify as a tornado outbreak or they don't, which busts of severe weather is definitely good and bad. It's good that not many people are impacted by severe storms, but also that some of the public may trust us less, as our forecasting was somewhat wrong. So busts are definitely good and bad, but we have that 5% chance for tornadoes. Of course, again, it can bust or it could verify. We do have that chance for tornadoes throughout today in those brown and green areas. The green areas, those are a 2% risk for tornadoes. Again, that risk for tornadoes is there. It is a lesser chance, but the tornadoes chance is still going to be there. So definitely stay aware if you are in the brown and the green colors. You do have that chance for tornadoes and overall severe storms. In the wind, we have that 15% chance for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So definitely wind is going to be a decent threat with this one. And also hail is going to be a decent threat with a 15% chance of possibly quarter-sized hail, and also a 5% chance reaching from Indiana all the way down there into Texas. Tomorrow's outlook is going to be a little more elevated. We do have a slight risk for severe storms again. I do think this has a possibility of being upgraded to an enhanced risk, but it's not very likely here, as it's not as big of a risk as last time. But as you can see, we have a slight risk for severe storms. Again, same as today's risk, but we have, it's a little bit of a smaller area, but it is still very similar, as it's the same type of system here. So tornado risk, we have two areas of 5% chance, 5% risk, which is very interesting here. I usually don't see this. We usually don't see double 5% risks this close together. So I do imagine they combine those into one 5% chance, but it's just confusing here. Storm Prediction Center does what it wants to do, but we also have a 2% risk of tornadoes just like today. So definitely that risk is there for tornadoes tomorrow, and it does have that chance of upgrading. Not likely though. The wind chance for tomorrow is the same as today's, a 15% chance for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. In that hail risk, we have a 5% chance, so not as the same as today's, but definitely risk for hail is definitely small, but it's still possible for some small hail in some of those storms. We're going to look at the future radar for today's severe storms, and then we're going to look at tomorrow's severe storms to know if you will be impacted by severe storms or not. So let's get going here. We're looking at the Dixie Alley area, so the southeast here, and this is actually going to be right now. Well, actually, before this video is being recorded, this is 6 a.m. so we're already seeing storms today throughout the southeast, and this is just this morning. We're seeing a lot of storms throughout the southeast, Mississippi, Alabama, and those will weaken throughout this afternoon. Maybe some more pop-up storms throughout those areas, and possibly some supercells could be possible throughout those areas. And we get most of those storms here for today overnight. So overnight, Tuesday into Wednesday, we get a lot of those storms popping up here around the Oklahoma area. We'll switch over to that area. As you can see, let's go ahead and move forward to the overnight hours. We're seeing a lot of those today's severe storms popping up the late afternoon hours, so around 6 p.m. we're going to see those storms firing in Texas. moving throughout Oklahoma here throughout the evening hours around 9 or 10 p.m. And you're seeing a couple supercells, a few supercells possibly. By then, we're seeing those become more widespread throughout overnight. So this is going to be around 12 a.m. Central. Let's move forward though throughout the overnight hours around 2 a.m. As you can see, a lot of those storms are becoming a little more widespread in southeast Oklahoma. Still some pop-up storms in northern Texas, and those storms are now moving into portions of Arkansas and Missouri. Again, that potential for tornadoes is going to be there, and this is going to be overnight, so it's going to be even more dangerous if you do get tornado warnings overnight. This is going to be early morning tomorrow, so 6 a.m. of Tuesday. As you can see, there's very widespread severe storms here for the early morning hours of Tuesday across portions of southeastern Missouri, northern Arkansas, southern Illinois, and also still some storms going on there in northern Illinois, as well as some widespread thunderstorms over there in the Ohio Valley. So tomorrow morning is going to be very chaotic with those storms across the Midwest and Ohio Valley. And as we move throughout tomorrow here, we get those severe storms popping up or firing the early afternoon hours of tomorrow, which potential for live stream tomorrow is definitely possible for these severe storms down in the south. As you can see, we're getting most of those severe storms popping up around 5 p.m. Central here throughout portions of Mississippi and Alabama. We get those going here, and as you can see, those more severe storms popping up behind that. Mostly a line of severe storms throughout the evening hours of tomorrow, and now moving into more around 12 a.m. We're still seeing some severe storms lining up across portions of Alabama and Mississippi. So this is going to be going throughout overnight, and those severe storms looking to be moving out by early tomorrow morning around 5 a.m. So it's definitely going to be a decently long event, and due to those lines of severe storms just trailing over the same areas, that may lead to some flash flooding in portions of Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi. Kentucky could see some flooding as well. Just because of so much rainfall, it's going to be going throughout tomorrow throughout these areas. So flooding is also going to be a decent threat here for a lot of these Midwest and Ohio Valley southern areas. Let's look at the significant tornado parameter, and this is again a lot of the tornado models combined together. We have a big threat for tornadoes, especially over there in Kansas and northeastern Oklahoma for tonight. Let's move forward even more. We still have a small threat for tornadoes into the early morning hours of tomorrow, but that tornado threat definitely ramps up throughout the day here. This is going to be early afternoon in portions of southeastern Mississippi, southern Illinois, and western Kentucky does have that threat for tornadoes. And again, the tornado threat ramping up again. This is why they have two risk areas, because one area is going to have those severe storms at one time, and then later it's going to have another system. So that's why they have those two areas of 5% chance of tornadoes here. As you can see, we get those tornado threat ramping up, not as big as portions of southeastern Missouri and southern Illinois, but we still have that decent chance for tornadoes across portions of Mississippi and Alabama overnight for tomorrow into Wednesday. Let's look at those dew points here for these areas. Again, this is going to be moisture within the atmosphere that we're talking here. We don't usually see as much moisture over here in February and March as we do April and May, but we still have enough moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico to fuel these severe storms with a lot of that moisture. So let's move forward here. We're seeing likely 65 dew points over there in the south, possibly even reaching up to the low 70s tomorrow afternoon. We're seeing just enough dew points up here in southern Illinois and southeastern Missouri to fuel those severe storms. And then you get those cold fronts dropping in. You get that massive cold front dropping in, bringing a lot of those drier air. So it's actually a little bit humid up here in portions of the south, and even up here in portions of the Midwest. It's a little bit humid throughout today, and you usually don't see this much humidity up here in portions of late February. You usually get those humidity going in mid to late March, but it's actually a decent type of humidity going on today and a portion of tomorrow in those areas. So let's move forward here. We're getting low 70s, more higher 60s of dew points. So definitely a decent amount of moisture to fuel these severe storms and possible tornadoes throughout these areas. And again, you get those much drier air going in to these areas in midweek, and that's going to last a decent while until we get another storm. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you are new and turn on post notifications. You won't miss a single upload or live stream on this storm season. It's gonna be very epic here with this channel's storm season. This is when the channel pretty much peaks in storm season. I'm very in depth with the storm season otherwise than winter weather, because winter weather is honestly a little boring. There's definitely some big storms that get hyped, but storm season is my type of passion. So you're gonna get very in-depth forecasts for this storm season. You're gonna get very in-depth live coverages. I'm going to have some very special things with live coverage streams this year. Definitely stay tuned for live coverage streams. Also, make sure to share this video with any friends or family that may want the latest updates on anything storm season, anything weather-wise that's going on in the country throughout pretty much every single day. I'm going to be trying to daily upload here, likely in the early afternoon hours. So, as always, stay safe.